right, now, so our next two guests forged their friendship as they made it to the final two on American Idol back in 2003. Can you believe?
How can you forget
2003.
that? I know, it was so long ago, but
Oh
trust
my
me,
gosh.
it still lives in my brain. Now they feel
Why are
like
they
I'm dating
giggling?
them. Why are you giggling?
They're giggling at each
You
other
might
right
remember
now.
watching the finale. Nearly 40 million people tuned in as Ruben Studdard was declared the winner over runner-up Clay Aiken.
The worst photograph of me.
Now, 20 years later, the two are on tour together. And they're getting ready for their very first show tomorrow night. Ruben Studdard, Clay Aiken, thank you for joining us in studio.
Good to be here.
Thank
Even though
you for
you called
having
us
us.
old,
I
we're
did not
happy
call
to be
you.
here.
I merely shared a date.
No,
I shared a date.
you did.
No, I
You
shared a
called
date.
us old. It's
It was
fine.
implied. It was implied.
It doesn't feel like 2 decades, though.
See, now
It
you
really
threw the
doesn't.
decades word out. That always makes everything feel a lot longer.
But it doesn't.
It feels like yesterday for us, too, sometimes.
Yeah, man.
Putting together this show, we've been going back and remembering some of the stuff that happened to us or that we went through on the show. And it's been a lot of fun, but it's, you know, the memories come back because it was such a seminal part of our lives.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You would think that two competitors would be like at each other's throats, but you became the closest of friends.
We were never competitive against one another. It was always about doing your best on the show. And so, you know, we forged a friendship very early on. Like I remember when we, right before we made the top 24, we had all exchanged numbers. Like, and everybody that ended up being on the top 12, we had already all exchanged numbers with each other. So we kind of like made ourselves family before we were even a family.
The show was also so new. You know, it had season 2 was the first year that it became this huge juggernaut, and so none of us realized what the stakes were. We didn't recognize that the show could create a career, so I think that made it far less competitive, and we just really enjoyed hanging out together.
So now two of you are joining forces. What was the light bulb moment that you thought this idea would actually work?
I always knew that Clay and I had something or have something special on stage together. We did a tour of, I think, around the 10th year after being on the show together, and it was phenomenal. And I kept pestering him and kept pestering him. I said, man, listen, our 20th anniversary is coming. We need to go back on the road together. And he, you know, he finally relented.
Yes. Well, Ruben loves touring. He's been on the road for the past 20 years pretty steadily, and I had enjoyed staying still for a while, so I talked him into doing a show on Broadway together. We did in 2018. We stayed still for that. So now we're going to go out and go on the road like Ruben loves doing, and I do miss a little bit, and we're excited about kind of getting out to, you know, the places in America where people put us where we are.
After the first show, he'll be fine.
Well, you guys are friends, but what's it like to work together when you have different styles of singing?
I think it's great because the things that I'm not great at, he's great at, and vice versa. So, you know, we complement each other really well on the road.
We do foil. We were actually sitting in rehearsals. We've been in rehearsals for the last week getting ready for the show to start tomorrow. And Ruben was a little bit worried about something that was happening technically with the band. And I just said, oh, it's no big deal. And we realized, wait a second, normally I'm the high-strung one who's worried about everything. This thing I'm not worried about. Ruben is. We really foil each other. Everything, like he said, that he does well, everything that annoys me doesn't annoy him, everything that annoys him doesn't annoy me. It's kind of, you know, I think being different makes us a good team.
Yeah.
So I want to follow up. Where did the apprehension come from when Ruben reached out to you and said, no, we need to make this happen? It's been a while.
It's just been a while. I stopped performing maybe in 2014 or so, and had not done it other than the Broadway show. So it was just the idea of thinking, okay, am I ready to? My bones hurt, and my joints hurt, and am I ready to sleep on a bus and go back out on the road? But he's, like I've told people before, Broadway and now this, the only person who's gotten me to be willing to get out and sing has been Ruben, because we have fun together.
And also I can understand it because it takes a while to get your voice to a point where you're able to sing.
What are you trying to say?
I'm just saying, I mean.
Now you're showing the true colors.
2 hours and 15 minutes is a lot of singing.
It is a lot.
Once you stop doing it for a while, it takes a while. Like, you know, you have to build yourself up. And so I'm like pushing him out back into doing something that, you know, he hasn't really been doing for a while. I'm thankful.
We got there last week. We did our
did.
stuff, and we're ready. We've got several shows in New York. We start near Albany and Troy tomorrow, and we're in Long Island on the 20th. We're
Nice.
in the city up in the Bronx on the 22nd. So,
But you said is it
You
two?
remember all those dates like that?
see, that's one thing I
See,
do.
that's his
Commitment.
strength.
There you go.
That's my ministry, Ruben.
Complement each other.
So you said it's a more than 2-hour show.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, it's hard to put 20 years of
Yeah.
experiences
Yeah.
in an hour and 15 minutes. So people have always asked us, well, what happened with this and what happened with this? So we're going to be telling stories. Now, we're not just singing.
great.
We're also going to be telling stories about our experience on American Idol and our experience with one another and everybody else that was a part of the show with us.
What are some of the songs then? What are some of the music that you're going to be sharing with the
We
audience?
pulled songs that we had sung on the show, songs that we have recorded since. The show came together in this really fun, organic way where we just sat down and started talking about memories. Ruben said, remember that time we went to the Renaissance Hotel and met Lamont Dozier? And I was like, oh, I forgot about that. And as we talk about that memory, we think, wait a second, let's do some of those Motown hits that we sang on the show. You know, I sang Sugar Pie, Honey Bunch. He sang Baby, I Need Your Lovin'. We put those into a medley. So every part of the show comes out of some memory that we had from being back on there.
What'd you say?
Sugar
What I
pie.
sang?
Sugar pie, honey bunch.
I did. I know it's called something else, but that's what everybody knows it as, Ruben.
We all knew what you were saying, Clay. I got
Thank you very much. Now you're back on my good list. After calling us old, you're back on my good list.
So, Ruben, I've been meaning to ask this for a long time.
Okay.
And you've been asked this probably a lot.
Okay.
Was the apology accepted from 2004?
I have absolutely no idea. And you want to know why? Because I didn't write that song.
You didn't have to apologize
I
in
didn't have-
2004 because you did everything right
I
that
did
year, right?
everything right that year, but I didn't write the song, so I don't know if the guy that wrote the song got his
For what it's
apology
worth, I'm
accepted.
also not watching you in your room, so we're good. So all those songs were somebody else's words.
How are you guys going to get through this show? There's so many laughs and that you guys share that you might just sit there and
We do. Ruben's going to try to get me to dance a little bit.
Get
It's
out!
Well, it's good. It's a
You're
try.
gonna be
Can we get a
dancing too?
preview?
Try. No, you cannot, because I will break every
he
bone
got
in my body in your
We
glass
can leave the
table.
glasses.
Look, he got skills, man. Don't let Clay fool you.
Two-step skills or advanced two-step?
Yeah, it's probably.
It's more like a 2-3 step, but we get it together.
How often do you guys talk to each other then? I mean, like you said, it's been a while since you've been performing together.
Over 20 years, we've stayed in touch pretty consistently. We actually went back to do an episode of Idol several years back when they brought a whole bunch of folks back, and we found it so funny that all the other seasons, the winner and the runner-up had either not seen each other since their season, not spoken, and
Wow.
we just think, how do you not talk to somebody who you go through something like that with?
I think a book is coming.
Oh God, don't give him ideas. He's already got me.
I think so. Is there one funny story that stands out above the rest that you would tell your younger version competing in season 2 that would help you now for this journey ahead?
One funny story?
Yeah.
Or just
in general.
I would tell my younger self to enjoy it more. I think that we were so consumed with being great every week or good every week and making sure that we picked the right song that we really didn't have an opportunity to like grasp the fact that we were living in Beverly Hills, that we were, around Randy, Paula, and Simon. Like I didn't ask them enough questions, and just even the people that work behind the scenes, because our executive producers and producers have had a lifetime's worth of experience before they were with us, and I would have just set them down.
Now
And
that's
I-
us.
Ye-
Now
yes.
we're the
Wow.
old. Now we're the old pros. We realized the other day that we are now the age. We are now older than Simon and Paula were when they were judging us.
Get the heck
Isn't that
out
crazy?
of here.
You're not old, you're well marinated.
They're,
Yes.
oh, well marinated, like that fondue that I'm still smelling over here on the set.
Trust me, there's plenty more for y'all too.
We're fine. Thank you very much.
Oh my God. Great advice though to embrace the moment. We have embraced this moment with the both of you. It's been really a pleasure talking to both of you.
Thank you
so
And
much.
taking a step back in time.
Do you remember the dates, Ruben?
No, I don't. Go
That's
tell me.
okay. Long Island on the 20th, and
Yes.
we'll be in the Bronx on the 22nd. So
right.
people should come out and see us. in the
Say
city.
less.
Next Saturday, you'll be right here in the city. All right, Ruben and Clay's tour again, as they say, kicks off tomorrow night in Troy. Next Saturday, they're going to be right here in the city, in the Bronx. They have a show at Lehman Center for the Performing Arts, and you can find more information online at rubenandclay.com.
Look at that poster. It's nice.
You like that picture better, Ruben?
Hair looked great on there, bro.
Yes, well,
I
it was
mean,
it was very,
you had it
very.
swooped together.
I didn't have to do it myself that day.
I
as
don't
did
have
today.
any, so you know, it's like.
You cheated.
Thanks again, guys. Great to have you. All right.